course, I'm exaggerating a bit when I say Ikea is rubbing you off, because they're not. The employees I have met from Ikea are very nice, but the problem is that when you place your order for your Ikea kitchen and you come home and you look at that order list, you can see some items on there that, first of all, you don't know what is, but they have been added automatically, because we must not forget that Ikea is in the business of selling items, and that's what they do. So they will add some items to your order list that they don't tell you about. And I know that because all my clients, where I said, why do you have this, this, and this? They will say, well, IKEA just added it. So with this video, I want to share with you 3 items that IKEA will add to your list, most likely without asking you. And I want you to consider whether you want those parts or not. None of them you really need, but maybe you just want them, and that's okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't get them. What I'm saying is that IKEA should probably tell you, this is what it is. Do you want it? Yes or no? So let's get started. Before I get to the details, I just want to assure you that I'm not making this video because I'm a grumpy old man who just wanted my way. No, I just don't like when any service provider adds something to my order or the service provided that I didn't ask for. It's like sitting at the hairdresser and you're reading the magazine, and then you look up and, hey, what's that now? I did not ask for that. And maybe it looks nice, I don't know. But the thing is, I would like the option. I would like to be presented with a few options, and then I can decide for myself, is this something I want, yes or no? And the same goes for IKEA orders. When my clients go to IKEA, I would like them to be presented with the options, and then they can say yes or they can say no. The first item on my list is actually 2 things. It is the strip on top of the cabinet, and it's the valance below the cabinet. The one on top of the cabinet, I dislike that one so much that I actually made a video about it, so I can recommend you check a look at that one to see what my issue is with those. IKEA, on the other hand, they like them so much that they even add them to layout plans where there is no room for them. As you can see in this plan, we have 95 inches to the ceiling. And the cabinets, they go to 94.5, but nevertheless, IKEA managed in the planner to put in those strips. So now that they sold them to you, you have to bring them back, because in this case, there is no room, right? But maybe you just want them because you think it looks nice. And if you want, just make sure that you have room to put them in. And the same thing can be said about the Valence, because some people like it and some people don't. I'm one of those who don't like it that much, because I don't like that it also reduced the clearance between the countertop and the upper cabinets. And I do think that the IKEA lights is not that big, and it's just a strip sitting up under the cabinet. So I don't think there's much to hide, because the power supply, all the wires are not visible anyway. We have the power supply under the cabinets and the wires are tucked away. So I don't think they serve a purpose. But again, if you like them and you think it looks nice, by all means, go get them. Now, since IKEA put them in pretty much all the plans I see, one would think that they have them on display, right? So the client can see this is the Valence, this is the Deco strip on top. But actually, I went to IKEA, and out of all the kitchens on display, there was only one setup that had the Deco strip on top. And Valence, no, not so much. What they do now is that they use panels to wrap around the upper cabinets. All the other kitchens on display, they were made that way with panels and not the strip. So understand that if you can. I certainly cannot. So when you put in your order at IKEA for a new kitchen, make sure to check your order confirmation to see if you have all those strips in there, and then decide for yourself whether you want them or not. Okay? Next up on the list of items IKEA put in your shopping bag while you're looking away is panels next to dishwashers and next to your range. And that's the one you see right there. In this case, we can see there's one on each side of the dishwasher, and there's one of each side of your range. And do we need those? Well, we don't need them, but some people like them. I'm not one of those. And I actually also went to IKEA to look for panels to see what they're up to at IKEA. And out of 5 display kitchens, they only had added those panels at the dishwashers on one of them. I find that was to be weird, because if they want you to have them, why don't they want them themselves? It's always super annoying to spend money on something you don't need, but it's really annoying to spend money on something that can wreck your layout plan. And that is sometimes the case with those panels, because in this very simple kitchen that I made here, you can see there's no panel sitting next to the dishwasher. If I squeeze in a panel, it will push the cabinets on both sides of the dishwasher to the right and the left. And that means that the lower cabinets will not line up with the uppers anymore. And in this kitchen setup, it's not a big deal and most people will not notice it. But if you have a plan like this one and we squeeze in panels, we are in trouble. In this plan, I have added my 2 least favorite corner cabinets, and they are sitting there at the right, one at the bottom and one at the top, and they are tied into the wall on the right, and that means that that line right there has to be vertical. On the left side of the kitchen, we have a pantry cabinet, and clearly that has to be vertical as well. So if we squeeze in panels at the dishwasher, which are 1/2 inch thick or even 5/8 thick on each side, we will have a gap at the top of the cabinets where the wall cabinet to the left meets the pantry cabinet. It's not so easy to see in this picture, but on this drawing, you can clearly see that there's a full inch over there to the left. And the only way to deal with that is to, if you want to keep the panels, is to have a filler somewhere. There is no other way. And we don't want those fillers. So here you really don't want to add those panels next to the dishwasher. The third thing on my what do we need that for list is glass sides for the Maximera drawers. And you can see one here in this picture, even though it's hard to see because it is transparent. Ikea have had these glass sides available for a long time, but it was not until they changed the online planner that these glass sides are being added by default, and I guess they wanted to sell some more. And do we need them? Well, that's up to you. I think they look cool, but again, why can IKEA not ask if that's something we want before they just add it to the order? As you can see, they are closing up the gap between that upper rail and the bottom of the drawer. And if you are keeping, let's say, walnuts, and very handy. But if you're having pots and pans or other big items, you have some jars with cereal or whatnot, then you really don't need them. I went to IKEA and I looked and all the drawers out there to see what they did. And they, of course, have glass sides everywhere because they want to sell some products. But they didn't serve any purpose because everything they had in the drawers couldn't fall out to the side. So from a functional point of view, it was pointless. From a visual point of view, it looks nice. So it's up to you if you want to spend your money on it or not. And speaking of money, how much will these 3 different items cost you if you add them all to an average kitchen? That's what I want to show you now. And for that very purpose, I made this kitchen in the planner and I added the strips, the valance, the panels next to the stove and the dishwasher, and glass in every single drawer. And then I looked at the numbers. What is the cost for all those items? First up is the Deco strip and the valance. And I have to admit that I only did the numbers for Canada and for the US. Canada because that's where I live and work, and the US because a lot of you viewers are from the United States. Next up is the unnecessary panels, and as you can see, they don't come cheap either. And in this case, it's only 4 panels, and I have picked the ones that go all the way to the floor because some people do that, so you might as well know that is more expensive. Finally, we have the cost for the Bling glass sides, and in Canada, they're not that expensive, but in the US, IKEA do not let you off easy on that one. So bring the money if you want those glass sides for your drawers if you live in the US. And if we add all these numbers up, you can see it is quite a significant amount of money you have to pay extra for items that you really don't need, but you might want to have. And on top of that, if you don't install your kitchen yourself, you will have to pay someone to add those items. In Canada, I would charge about $650 for the items for this average kitchen. And it might be more or it might be less for you. But in total, you can see that's almost $1,300 for items you did not pick yourself. Whether you need them or not is really up to you, but the whole point here is that Ikea just created a sale for $650 and an expense for you for $1,300 without letting you know. I don't think they should do that. But now you are aware, and you can put your foot down and saying, no, I don't want them, or you can say, yeah, bring it on, I want those items.